Gaffer, I suppose it's hard enough to come to places like this without conceding 4 penalties.
It is, and I suppose at the time we felt very aggrieved at the decisions that were made. Having watched them back, you know, there's 1 penalty today and there's 3 that aren't penalties, and that's the disappointing aspect of it.
Yeah, I've said they are conceded 4 penalties, but realistically, like you say, 3 that probably aren't penalties. How disappointing is that when you come to a place as difficult as this?
I think it's hard to come here and get a result giving away 1 penalty, and we spoke about it before the game, that it's important that we're smart in how we do that, and I think to get off to the start that we got off to is really disappointing. But also with that, I thought the way we played after that, the lads were exceptional right up until probably the 60th or 70th minute, rather than down tools. I suppose the last 20 minutes was tough, but I suppose it's very hard to take.
Like you've mentioned, the frustration of giving away a penalty in the first minute, Rangers going 1-0 up. How pleased were you with that response from the team, and how pleased were you with some of the play that we had? I know we had most of the ball for the rest of that first half. Yeah, listen,
the guys have responded really well and showed a huge amount of character, but I think it's tough in any walk of life if you keep getting obstacles thrown at you like we had today. You know, to come here, as we say, and give away 1 penalty, you'll struggle to get a result. You know, for 4 to be handed against us today just makes it an extremely tough day. But I thought the way the guys fought up until probably the last 15 minutes, where probably they started to get a bit of disillusioned with it because of everything that had happened. But we've got to be stronger in that last 15 and see the game out.
What are the positives you do take from today?
You know, I thought there was a lot of good performances there, and I thought, particularly as you say in the first half, the way we passed the ball and moved the ball, you know, it augurs well for the future. And you know, it's probably the same as the Celtic one. You know, these places aren't going to make or break it. It's Motherwell on Wednesday night that's going to be huge for us, and it's so important that we hit that same performance level.
Like you say, that must be the pleasing thing, is you can see that there are wee positives there, given that you've brought in so many players in January and some of them still getting up to speed, some of them still kind of gelling with their new teammates. That must be pleasing you'll want to see when it all comes together.
Of course, and probably the one for me is you look at the difference in Anders in a week, Anders Dreyer, because it was hard, the scenario we threw him into last week, but with a week behind him and starting to get to know everybody, I thought his performance today was exceptional, and he was a real outlet today and a real thorn, particularly probably in the first 60 minutes, and then struggled after that.
2 games next week, Motherwell at home first in the league, and then Dundee United in the Scottish Cup. How much are you looking forward to kind of just being back at it and playing those 2 games?
Yeah, 2 massive games, and it's so important that we get a big performance, and the same performance on Wednesday night, and because those are the games we've got to go and pick up points in the teams around us.
How are I know we've got a couple of injuries in the squad at the moment. Cody Cook, Danny Rogers, Lee Hodgson. How are they all doing?
They're all longish turning except Cody. Cody's probably a week or 2 away.
How frustrating is that, to lose somebody like Hodge as well, who'd been a vital part of the team?
Yeah, and I think that was the reason why we had to bring in Laurento, because Hodge has been exceptional and done really, really well, and it leaves Paul sort of out in a limb, and Paul was probably as good a player as we had today. But my fear was the way the game was going at that point in time and how everything had been, with him picking up a yellow that wasn't a yellow in the first half. I think I had to try and protect the cause of the rest of this week as well. So as much as Paul was having an exceptional game, I think it's important also that it was bad enough coming out of here with in the manner of how it's happened, but to come out of here with Paul maybe being suspended for Wednesday night would have been worse.
3 debuts as well from the substitutes bench: Matteo Music, Laurenti Corbu and Dukins Nazon. How pleased were you with what they contributed today?
Yeah, listen, it was tough for them, and again, what a welcome to Scottish football for all 3 of them, if you know what I mean. But again, I think it's so important you get them out there, you get a feel for it quickly, because we're going to need everybody in this battle.